Dr. Kilgore with Dr. Kilgore's World with another flipped math learning video. The learning goal of this lesson is I can identify equivalent fractions. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to determine if fractions are equivalent. Please make sure that your learning goal is in your notes and you are ready to begin. Pause the video as needed. So your vocabulary should go in your same foldable or in your notes like always. For this lesson, we have one vocabulary word, so I put it right on the outside flap. You're welcome to do with yours what you like. That's my example. So vocabulary for this lesson is equivalent fractions. That's a fraction that names the same part of a whole region, length, or set. Our strategies for success for identifying equivalent fractions is just really one process. You can multiply or divide the numerator and denominator by the same non-zero number to get equivalent fractions. Now, the important thing is that you have to use the same non-zero number with both the numerator and the denominator to get an equivalent fraction. So let's look at some practice with this skill. Let's start with our good old 1/2. 1/2 is easy to work with. So to find an equivalent fraction to 1/2, we're going to multiply it by the same non-zero number. In this case, I'm going to multiply it by the fraction 2 halves. So 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. That means 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. We want to take 2/4 and make another equivalent fraction. We could multiply it by the fraction 2 halves. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And we get 4/8. Now we could keep doing the same process of multiplying it by 2 halves, and we would keep coming up with equivalent fractions. 8, 16. We can do this with any fraction and any equivalent or any non-zero number. So let's try 1/3 and let's multiply it by 3/3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So 1/3 is equivalent to 3/9. We can keep going as long as we want to by multiplying it by the same non-zero number. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So 9/27. Really, this is all it takes to find an equivalent fraction. So just like we found fractions by multiplying by the same non-zero number, we can also take fractions like 30/35 and divide them by the same non-zero number. I happen to know that 5 will go into both, so I'm going to divide it by the fraction 5/5. 30 divided by 5 is 6, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. So 30/35 would be equivalent to 6/7. So let's look. Let's go 14/80, and let's see how we can divide that. Now, sometimes the division isn't quite so easy. I know that 7 will go into 14, but I don't know if 7 will go into 80. I do know that 2 will go into both. So let's try dividing by the fraction 2 halves. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 80 divided by 2 would be 40. So 7/40ths would be equivalent to 14/80ths. Now in some instances, you're going to be given parts of a fraction, like 12 over, we have no clue, equals 3/9. So to take this fraction and find its equivalent, we have to figure out what happened between the numbers that were given to make an equivalent. So 12 and 3. I know that 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. So this must be divided by 4. That looks like a multiplication or an addition sign there. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Divided by 4 equals 9. 36. So 12/36 equals 3/9. I do this work right here to make sure that I am doing the same exact process to both the top and the bottom. So if we've got 7/9 equals something over 63. Well, I know that 9 times 7 is 63. So if I multiply 7 times 7, I get 49. So these are equivalent fractions.